And we begin tonight with the major news out of Buffalo today. Mayor Byron Brown's name will not be appearing on November's ballot because of a pair of court rulings earlier today. Good evening, I'm Scott Levin.
And I'm Mary Alice Demler. A state appellate court and a federal appeals court ruled against the mayor today, making India Walton the only one who will be on the ballot. But things could always change with further appeals, as 2 on your side's Leanne Stuck reports now.
Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown suffered 2 losses in court today in his attempt to get his name on the November ballot as he seeks a 5th term at City Hall after losing to Democratic primary winner India Walton. Thursday afternoon, the New York State Appellate Court ruled that states are constitutionally permitted to preclude candidates who lose one primary election from subsequently running on another ballot line. Then a short time later, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit issued a stay that invalidates the U.S. District Court Judge John Sinatra's September 3rd ruling that ordered the Erie County Board of Elections place Mayor Brown's name on the November ballot on a minor party line. Erie County Republican Elections Commissioner Ralph Mohr said this latest ruling means Mayor Brown's name will not appear on the November ballots that start getting mailed out Friday. There could be further court action.
Today, the 4th Department in Rochester, the Appellate Division, heard the arguments on the case and reversed the lower state court ruling, and that decision was followed minutes later by a federal court panel sitting in New York City, where the 3-judge panel stayed the lower court decision, which ordered us to place his name on the ballot. So Mayor Brown's name will not be appearing on the ballots that we're mailing out tomorrow. Now, each of those decisions can still be appealed.
India Walton's campaign communications director, Jesse Meyerson, released this statement in part, saying we're thrilled that immediately after the 4th Department convincingly ruled in our favor on the merits of the case, the Second Circuit granted our motion to stay Judge Sinatra's order. And just ahead of this newscast tonight, Mayor Byron Brown's campaign manager released the following statement that said in part, "We are disappointed by the decisions in federal and state court today. We believe that the initial rulings were correct and properly granted ballot access for the mayoral election in the city of Buffalo." You can read the full statements from both candidates right now up on our website, WGRZ.com. Leanne Stock, Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Leanne. Joining us now to give us some insight on these rulings, we have legal analysis with attorney Barry Covert.
Barry, both these rulings, they both came out in India Walton's favor. Were you surprised by these decisions?
Well, it was certainly not a foregone conclusion. I think that what happened here was the Second Circuit, the Federal Court of Appeals, clearly wanted to wait to see what the State Court of Appeals was going to rule. Very shortly after the State Court of Appeals issued their ruling, the Federal Second Circuit Court of Appeals issued their ruling that they were going to stay Federal Court Judge Sinatra's ruling, thereby making certain that Byron Brown would not be on the ballot. But it is not surprising. We didn't know what the outcome would be, but it's not surprising that the federal court waited for the state court and gave deference to the state court so that they would not have conflicting decisions. There's a long line of cases that talk about how we don't want to have 2 different courts give 2 different rulings of the exact same issue, that the public would lose trust in the judicial branch.
And you mentioned appeals. Let's talk about future appeals. But we know Byron Brown will definitely not be on the ballot that's being mailed out tomorrow to members of the military. But could there be yet another appeal to reverse these decisions? And are they likely to rule differently?
There's definitely going to be the opportunity to try to further do legal maneuvers to appeal the state court of appeals ruling, the federal Second Circuit. I don't expect that they're going to be successful. The ballots needed to be finalized for the military tomorrow to be sent out, and there's a strong desire in court opinions to have continuity and integrity of the voting process, and to change it now after we have a Court of Appeals in the 4th Department in Rochester and the Second Circuit Federal Court of Appeals now giving consistent rulings to one another. I do not imagine that there will be any ruling between now and the election that will change the election.
And you can read more of our coverage on all of today's developments and follow the race over the next few months by heading over to WGRZ.com anytime.